Why such secrecy if you're a church that's of God? Why such secrecy? Why lies? Why lies? Why get people to pay for houses? Houses that you didn't even own, that they didn't even need to purchase. Wake up, cult. Wake up, cult. Wake up, cult. You're not a church. You're not a church. You're a cult. Yeah, you got me on the polycom. Good. I hope every last one of you hear me. The church is using your financial information to extort money from you. If they don't provide you documentation and show you the house that you have under your name, it is in an extortion state. Basically what I mean is that they're taking that money, they're raising the rent above the property note value, the property notes requirement pay, and they're raising it up over 50 to 60% of the note and pocketing it. Ask them to show you the rentals agreement. Ask them to show you that house that you have in your name. Ask them to show you. Ask them to show you their actual repairs for the house. Every year I filed my taxes, they said repairs were done to my house. When I left, the houses have never been touched in 10 years. In the 10 years that I was responsible for the houses that I had in my name, no repairs were done on them. One house had a hole in the roof. The fireplace was leaking. Another house, there were supposed to be Christians in there. If you're Christians, why would you leave the house and not even take care of the property? You didn't even clean the property. I had to stay up here for 2 weeks last summer. And guess what? Benton, Reverend Benton, he and I were Marines together in the infantry in the 90s. We were in the same platoon. And guess what? He drove by there twice. He drove by where I was working twice. Over there on Fraser Drive. And he stopped, he looked at me, and he didn't even give me a hand. Is that the Christian love that the Bible talks about? Is that the Christian love that you represent? Come on. Come talk to me face to face. Come talk to me and explain. Explain your action. Explain why. Why do I have to file for bankruptcy? It's already done. It's already been discharged. But why did I have to do it? Why did I have to do it if Christians were taking care of the property? If Christians were actually receiving the rent, which they said they did, and then, guess what? Guess what? More lies. When I do my own research, I find out that you guys took a lot of money from me. You extorted. Extortion. Look it up. You two over there, look it up. Look it up. It's called extortion. Look up what manipulation means. Look what subtle suggestion means. Mind implantment. Memory implantment. It doesn't mean you put a new brain in someone's head. What it means is that you are made to feel in such a way that you believe that you did something that you never did. Ask them. Ask them. Ask them, where's Ramos? I want him to tell me to my face that I fucked him. Huh? Yeah, you want to talk dirty? Let's talk it. I ain't doing it. I didn't do it. Huh? Tell me the truth. Confront me. Confront me. What about the houses? Why did I purchase the house on Dutchtown Road? I purchased it. I took $35,000 at the request of Reverend Fire from my 401k. Why did I have to do it? Because there was people watching and beginning to notice that there was something wrong. When I paid it, they returned it to me with $1 extra. I purchased that house with my name, with my credit. And guess what? They're doing the same to you. Some of you don't even work and you have houses. Some of you don't even have a job. Have a real job and have houses, more than one house in your name. Come on. It's called manipulation. It's called being manipulated. You guys are being controlled. Controlled with subtle suggestion and with peer pressure. If someone hears me speak like this, then someone's going to tell the pastor. Well, is that Christianity? Christianity says, oh, I report everything to my pastor, so no one else can to be the normal person. Huh? Why does the church have kids going to a poop plant, of a human waste facility, to learn, and then they come back and they come and tell the preachers and parents, oh, we learned what we really are. We're just human feces. Is that Christianity? I didn't think Christianity brings kids to a human waste facility for a field trip. Huh? A field trip, right? A school field trip. Anyone would tell you that's insane. You don't take little kids to a waste facility plant for a field trip and then tell them they are that. That's all they are. All these kids is just nothing but human waste. That is called mind manipulation. That is mind manipulation. That is psychological warfare. That's the stuff that I used when I was a Marine Corps drill instructor. That's the stuff that I used when I was a Marine Corps drill instructor. When I would go and deal with recruits, I would try to get in their head. Why would you have little elementary school kids, middle school, high school, going to a waste facility plant on post, and then tell these poor little kids that they're nothing. All they are is human waste. They're no good. That is psychological warfare. What Christian, where did Jesus even do anything like that? Christ did not use psychological warfare on people. He used love and generosity and genuineness. If he cared about you, he really meant it. You guys said you cared. But guess what? You had me building a woodworking program from the ground up, and I spent $2,000 of my own personal money so that I can have the tools, so I can know what to do. And then guess what? You said, well, we don't know. We don't know if we're really going to do a woodworking program. After I already spent $2,000 of my own money because you asked me to help in the day school. And then guess what? I leave the first semester when I checked my daughter into a contemporary school. Then guess what? My daughter was 2 grades behind in her math. And I and my wife outperformed many of you parents in our diligence to teach our child their math, English, doing projects with them. I watched all you so-called parents just sloppily teach your child about how to do things. But then when I leave, I find out the truth. You didn't even teach my daughter anything. As a matter of fact, in your so-called day school, there's bullying. A righteous holiness school has bullying, and not from kids, from teachers. So-called preachers' wives, ministers. That's a lie. That is not the love of God. If it was the love of God, then why is my daughter having to catch up with other people if your day school was so advanced in the education? Why is it that if the church was so righteous, and I'm dealing with a minister, Reverend Anthony Alones, and he lies the whole time about helping to remove these houses, but all he was trying to do is buy time. When the tax season came, he washed his hands of the houses. As soon as it was tax time, all they wanted to do was make sure they get it filed. After that, they stopped paying for the houses. The houses began to go into foreclosure. I used my own money to keep those houses out of foreclosure. And for 6 months, I tried to work with it, but I couldn't. So we had to take our losses. It's not because God judged me. No, it wasn't the judgment of God that made me have to file for bankruptcy. It was the corruption of your so-called church. And it's another lie. The Church of Jesus Christ does not lie. The Bible says, do no harm to any man. Do no harm to any man. Huh? Your only requirement to man is to love them. But is that love? Is that love to lie? Is love a lie? Answer me. Answer me the truth. Where's the documentation? Where's the documentation that each member of this church that has other houses in their name? Huh? What about those houses? What about those properties? Huh? You have people that doesn't even work having multiple houses in their name. But guess what? You know how they do it? They raise the rent. They raise the rent. They're not paying the note like an honest person is. They're not paying it to the dollar. They raise the money higher than the note and they pocket it in the church. And they're not even helping the church people.